Welcome to Rise and Shine Pharma Study YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to see about antacids. First, the definition of antacids. An antacid is a weak alkaline substance used to neutralize the excess of hydrochloric acid secreted in stomach, thereby reducing gastric acidity and increases the pH of the stomach. In simple words, antacids are substances that are acting against the acids present in the stomach, mainly the hydrochloric acids. Next, classification of antacids. They are classified into two categories. First, non-systemic antacids and systemic antacids. Non-systemic antacids are agents that are not absorbed into the systemic circulation. They directly neutralizes the excess of hydrochloric acid. That is, they are not absorbed into the blood circulation. So they are called as non-systemic antacids. Examples: aluminum hydroxide gel, magnesium hydroxide, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, aluminum trisilicate, and many more. Next, systemic antacids. Systemic antacids are absorbed into the blood circulation, so it may cause alkalosis. That is, if it enters into the blood circulation, alters the pH to alkaline nature, so they are called as systemic antacids. Examples include sodium bicarbonate, potassium citrate. An ideal antacid should have the following characteristics. The antacid used should not produce any side effect other than its neutralizing action. Second, if absorbed, it should not cause systemic alkalosis. It should not have a laxative or constipating effect. It should produce its effect rapidly and maintains it for a longer period of time. The reaction of the antacid with the gastric HCl for neutralization should not cause us the larger evaluation of carbon dioxide, which produces discomfort. It should inhibit the pepsin activity that is responsible for digestion. It should not cause precipitation of phosphate in the gastrointestinal tract and depletion of phosphorus in the body. It should not interfere with the absorption of other drugs and also should not delay or speed up the absorption of drugs. It should not be toxic. It should be easily available with cheap in cost. These are all the 10 points that are required to be an ideal antacid. No one antacid is ideal in nature. Next, we are going to see about some official compounds. First one will be sodium bicarbonate. The method of preparation includes: when the carbon dioxide reacts with the sodium hydroxide aqueous solution, it initially produces sodium carbonate. This sodium carbonate is then dissolved in water and carbon dioxide is passed through this reaction, means it produces sodium bicarbonate, that is Na2CO3, which is sodium bicarbonate, reacts with water and carbon dioxide to form two molecules of sodium bicarbonate. Then next, assay of sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is assayed by acid base titration involving alkalimetry, that is the estimation of alkali, that is called as alkalimetry. Here the sodium bicarbonate is an alkali. An accurately weighed quantity of the sample is dissolved in carbon dioxide free water and titrated against 1 m hydrochloric acid using methyl orange as an indicator. Here the reaction is given where the hydrochloric acid reacts with the sodium bicarbonate to form sodium chloride, water molecule and carbon dioxide. The sodium bicarbonate is white crystalline odorless powder. It is stable in dry air, but in moist air it decomposes to sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water. It is soluble in water but insoluble in alcohol. Next, uses. In controlled doses, the sodium bicarbonate may be used as a good antacid. It may be also given by injection to relieve blood acidosis, especially in diabetic coma. Also used as an electrolyte replenisher. The next compound is aluminum hydroxide. In this there are two types, aluminum hydroxide gel and dried aluminum hydroxide gel. First we are going to see about aluminum hydroxide gel. According to the Indian Pharmacopoeia, aluminum hydroxide gel is an aqueous suspension of hydrated aluminum oxide together with varying quantities of basic aluminum carbonate and bicarbonate. It may also contain glycerin, sorbitol, sucrose as sweetening agents and mainly 0.5% of sodium benzoate or benzoic acid as a preservative. Standard, it should contain between 3.5% and 4.5% weight by weight of aluminum oxide. Properties, it is white, viscous, translucent suspension. It is insoluble in water and soluble in acid and alkalis. It is amphoteric in nature, that it behaves as both acid and base. Small amounts of clear liquid may separate from this on standing. The next, dried aluminum hydroxide gel. It contains largely of hydrated aluminum oxide together with varying quantities of basic aluminum carbonate and bicarbonate. It is insoluble in water and alcohol but soluble in dilute mineral acids and in excess of alkali. Standard, it contains not less than 47% and not more than 60% of aluminum oxide. The difference between these two, aluminum hydroxide gel and a dried aluminum hydroxide gel, is the composition of hydrated aluminum oxide. The next, uses of this aluminum hydroxide gel. It is used as an antacid and protective in the treatment of ulcers. Also used in cases of acute hyperacidity conditions. The next official compound, magnesium hydroxide mixture. This magnesium hydroxide mixture is also called as milk of magnesia or cream of magnesia or magnesium hydroxide oral suspension. Properties, it is white uniform suspension which does not separate readily on standing, whereas the aluminum hydroxide gel is separated into a small clear liquid on standing. This is the difference between magnesium hydroxide and aluminum hydroxide. The next, standard of magnesium hydroxide mixture. It contains between 7% to 8.5% weight by weight of hydrated magnesium oxide. Uses, antacids, and it can be also used as a laxative. Next, combination therapy of antacids. Usually when the antacids are used for treating, three complications are seen. First one, this many antacids exerts an action on the bowel. It may produce several actions, that is magnesium hydroxide produces mild laxative effect, whereas the aluminum hydroxide produces constipating effect. Actions of cations, that is the metallic ions present may produce some extra actions other than the neutralizing action, that are, if sodium in the sodium bicarbonate may be absorbed means it produces systemic alkalosis. Calcium if absorbed causes hypercalcemia, that is high amount of calcium in the blood. If magnesium and aluminum compounds are used, it may causes precipitation of phosphates in the gastrointestinal tract and depletion of phosphorus. Third, antacid may alter the pH of the gastric contents, so they may affect the absorption of drugs. In case of dyspepsia, that is gasiness, antifoaming agents are added together with the antacids. Mainly used antifoaming agents are dimethicone or simethicone. To minimize these complications, that is defects, it is wiser to use a combination of antacids like combination of aluminum hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide to balance the laxative and constipating effect. So the following combinations are regular in clinical use. First one will be the combination of magnesium and aluminum hydroxide, they called as magaldrate. Next one, Dioval forte tabs, magnesium and aluminum hydroxide together with dimethicone as an antifoaming agent. Next combination, Gelusil is the marketed, well-known marketed brand. It consists of aluminum hydroxide gel and magnesium trisilicate. Then next, Gelusil M. It contains aluminum hydroxide gel and magnesium hydroxide together with magnesium trisilicate. The next, Gelusil MPS, magnesium and aluminum hydroxides together with dimethicone or simethicone. Digene gel, it contains magnesium hydroxide, dried aluminum hydroxide gel with dimethicone or simethicone and sodium carboxymethyl cellulose. That's all about antacids. Thank you.